All right, today we're going to talk about our evolution grass seed, which is really an anchor for the entire regenerative home turf system. So every part of the system is really critical, but our evolution grass seed's the one part of the system that really replicates itself all the way through every other part of the system. And so we're going to talk about why it's important, why it's special here today. And so if we think about, growing a lawn, the primary thing that we want to start with is the seed. And so if we're trying to have a regenerative lawn where we aren't using as much chemical fertilizer, fewer pesticides, we're trying to regenerate soil, it's really important that we start with the right varieties of grass seed. So every bag of evolution seed is what's called A-list approved. And so that's a group. You can visit this website, alist.org, for more information, but basically it's a criteria that's been established for deciding which seed varieties actually use less chemical inputs, are more heat tolerant, don't need as much water. So this is a third party, it's not our standard, but it's, I think, a really great way to know that the seed varieties in what you're buying are going to achieve a regenerative standard. So that's one of the first things about evolution seed is the A-list varieties. Second thing is we don't need to use any starter fertilizer with evolution seed. And so there's a couple reasons why that's important. One is starter fertilizers are high in phosphorus. That's the ingredient that would get the seed to germinate faster. But phosphorus are also a concern from a runoff pollution standpoint in our fresh water, and many states have restrictions on phosphorus. So being able to get grass to germinate very quickly without using phosphorus is really important. And the reason we can do that is because every bag of evolution seed is treated with an ingredient we call PaleoCoat. So it's a seed treatment that's designed to help the seed germinate faster. It's actually the same seed treatment that's the #1 used seed treatment in all vegetable seeds for organic agriculture. So that's going to allow us to get seed to germinate faster, eliminating the phosphorus fertilizers, saves you that cost too, which is a great benefit. And the other part that's important for speed of germination is we want to beat the weeds out of the ground. And so if we can get our seed to germinate and grow faster than the weeds that often want to come into those bare spots as well, that's really important for controlling weeds. Speaking of weeds, a lot of the store-bought grass seeds that you'll find are pretty high in weed content. So with evolution grass seed, in many situations, we're going to be, you can see here, zero other crop, zero other weeds, 0, 0. And so a lot of grass seeds that you'll see in the store, it's not uncommon to, if you add up the other crop seed percentage and add up the other weed percentage, you might be 1.5%. And 1.5% may not sound like a lot, but that's by weight, not by seed count. And weed seeds are typically much smaller than grass seeds. So you could be 1.5% weed seed by weight, but be 6% by seed count. And seed count's going to really be what matters. And so that becomes an issue, obviously, when we're trying to get rid of chemical herbicides and things of that nature. With some of these grass seeds I see in certain hardware stores, it's almost like you need to buy a gallon of weed control with the grass seed that you're buying, just because you're going to have so many weed seeds coming up. So you'll see the inert matter there, 0.83. That's actually from the paleo seed treatments, what drives that 0.83 inert matter. So we can't always guarantee that evolution seed is going to be 0, 0. It depends on the lot that the seed's coming from, but we're always going to be really, really low, lower than things you're going to find in hardware stores for sure. The other thing is that our evolution seed is designed to be regenerative. And so that means a variety of different things. And it mostly has to do, it has to do with the A-list varieties, but also has to do with the specific varieties within the A-list categories that are chosen. So the grass seed varieties that are in evolution are going to have endophytes, so they naturally repel surface feeding insects. And so if you think about it, we don't want to use insecticides. We want grass seed varieties that are going to help repel them. They're going to have dense roots. So the bigger the root system in the soil, the less room there is for weed seeds to congregate and eventually grow. So that's important. Because of the bigger root system, we're also able to withstand up to 60 grubs per square foot. So again, want to avoid using the insecticides. Bigger roots are also going to allow us to be more drought resistant, and we're also going to be able to store more water. This slide doesn't show it, but the varieties that we've chosen will also spread laterally. So as as this grass grows and we feed the soil, we feed the plant, it's going to spread laterally on the surface, which will also help to keep airborne weeds from crowding in. So application rates are going to vary based upon whether it's a new lawn or an overseed. So 2 to 5 pounds is the rate we're looking for. For a new lawn, you're going to go out at 5 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So a 50-pound bag is going to give you 10,000 square feet of coverage. If you're doing overseeding, which is part of an annual regenerative home turf system, most of the time you're going to be doing an overseed 2 pounds per 1,000 square feet. What we're trying to do there is just continually introduce evolution seed, build it up over time, and be able to get the benefits that you're seeing in this presentation. But when we overseed, what we're typically going to ask you to do is to cut the grass basically as low as you can, essentially scalp it. By doing that, you're almost trying to kill some of the other seed varieties, and then we can put the evolution seed over the top. It'll get through the canopy of the yard and kind of, basically outcompete the other seed varieties that we're trying to slowly but surely work away over time. Evolution seed is blue tag certified, which just basically means an independent laboratory has confirmed everything that we claim on the seed tag, and it is non-GMO. So when it's being grown in Oregon, Washington, we're not using any GMO inputs. So that's all. That's a lot of information, but we have got a lot of things going on in the bag of evolution. So if there's any questions, please be in touch. Thanks.